oh my god, and I was like, just put that there, and I was just like, it's gonna feel so good, right? Welcome to the Jacob Wayne Rona special.
Quarantine
Uh,
time.
Quarantine. I have the Rona. I'm not going to say the other word for it because I can't remember if YouTube gets weird about that. Like they're nervous about
Yeah.
conspiracy videos and all that stuff.
Spreading misinformation.
Which I don't know. I was even debating about how much to even talk about this because it's like coming up on 2 years of this, and this is definitely my first run in
Yeah.
with the stuff. And my roommate's dead. No, I'm kidding. He's downstairs on the couch. Might as well be dead. Kind of
Oh
just
man.
watching some shows, getting some rest, but it hit him a lot harder than it hit me. So it is kind of bizarre that way. Like he had his symptoms start to kick in Friday night, and then Saturday it's kind of like full blown. Like we in Gamma we had a show scheduled to play at Bar down in Denver,
Yeah.
and we had to like, sorry, guitar player got COVID, like can't.
Yep.
So Shockey's definitely feeling it. He got his test that day from his work that gave us two, and
Mm.
he tested it. It was like almost immediately a second line, like you got COVID.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't, I'm like, I'm starting to feel it a little bit. And then by the end of that night, I definitely like was like in and out, cold sweats, kind of a
Oh
headache,
god.
super tired, whatever. But I was planning on playing a show that night and I didn't get to. And there was one other thing happening that night. There was a new Limp Bizkit album that was going to come out on at 12 in the morning, midnight.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, fuck that. I am not going to let Rona ruin the 13-year-old boy in me's fantasy. So we had our buddy drop off some groceries and some alcohol. And I just had some of those White Claw surges. And I got drunk and we made a slow cooker chuck
Yeah.
roast. So we made like this warm stew. And then I listened to that Limp Bizkit record, which we won't even talk about it in the music section. It's like I'm a fan of Limp Bizkit unapologetically. That being said, it's not like they're high art. It's
Uh-huh.
very goofy, silly, bob your head rap metal shit. And as always, I love what the band does. Love Wes Borland, the guitar player, and then the whole record. I'm like just baffled by Fred Durst's decisions. It's just like this took you 10 years to write these lyrics, and he's like supposedly a bit of a perfectionist. It's like he's
Oh my
perfecting
god.
just being a bizarre fucking weirdo on the microphone.
I guess so.
I'm not even gonna say he
Wow.
sucks anymore. Like it's profoundly like baffling how he gets to where he gets lyrically. Like it's like you thought about this? Like it's just insane.
Man, I might
So
have to give it a little ear.
you should, because I think it's all over the place. It's they do a cover of In Excess, which is all
Huh?
acousticy. And the only time they ever did acousticy stuff was on the record that West Borland wasn't on. Results may
Uh,
vary. But as you can hear, as if you're a listener, I'm a Limp Bizkit was the band that got me to start playing bass and play music, and Wes Borland, the makeup guy, he got me into art and painting. Like I was already into that stuff, but Limp Bizkit's very responsible for me picking up a paintbrush and picking up a bass guitar. So I'll always have
Nice.
this connection and sentimentality and a bit of excuse making for them. And so as our listeners are screaming at the speaker, like, what the fuck are you talking about? We'll move on. But the point being, I stayed up, got drunk, got high, ate some stew, woke up feeling fine, other than just tired. I've had that fatigue consistently just lasting, and sometimes it'll like swell up into like double plus fatigue or whatever.
Oh man.
But that's where I'm at. We just ordered a first time grocery delivery thing, so we didn't have to have a delivery fee. We're doing the soup thing. We ate some gummy bears.
Nice.
I'm
Orange juice.
sipping on tea.
Yeah. You need your orange juice now. Get your D.
So, any
And all
other
the other good
COVID
stuff.
questions, Kellen, before we move on from the subject? Just figured we'd just get it all out of the way up top.
I mean, well, have you lost your taste?
No. And I've had, like, I feel like my appetite's gone up a little bit. Like, I've been really hungry.
Well, I mean, you've avoided like one of the worst parts of it, is from what I can tell. So hopefully that stays.
Well, Shockey was talking to some people, and it says there's a bunch of people that don't have the loss of appetite, like when they don't, like flu or a cold.
Uh-huh.
It's been a little, they'll have those symptoms, but a bunch of people don't have the loss of appetite, which, and then another friend of mine, I'll leave the names out of it because I have no idea if they want to be called out, but it's not like anything big or whatever. But just the fact that a friend has her brother's a doctor, and she was saying how he was mentioning that one of the weirdest things about the virus is just how different it is from person to person.
Yeah.
And that's been one of the things that's made it such a weird thing to kind of narrow down, like the
Yeah.
infection rate and the time, the amount of time you could be walking around and have it and not know and just be spreading it. And then yeah, some people get fucking nailed by it, and other ones are kind of like me, like kind of like ghostly shuffling around the house.
And some people
Yeah.
don't even notice at all. Like they know they have it, and they're like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna sit at home for a week."
It's a cold. It's not that goddamn socialist Democrat ruse in my lungs.
That conspiracy.
So, anyway, to not get into this long-winded part, we're in quarantine. This is day, I guess that we would have officially started Saturday.
Man,
so
it's been a
we're
while
supposed to do
since
about 10 days. And so, okay, yeah. So this is the whole, obviously my thoughts are a little all over the place. So that was the thing, is I woke up and I definitely had symptoms from the Saturday night into Sunday. So you're supposed to wait to take the test if you're not having as many symptoms, but you feel it coming on. You're supposed to wait for more symptoms to take it. And because it can give you a false negative if you do that. I took it the Sunday morning when I was feeling a little better, but still like definitely fucked up in the head. And it came back negative for me. But that would imply that I got sick with like a cold or a flu exactly a day after Shockey got COVID and had the exact same symptoms at the beginning. And then mine just stopped, and then he's just as miserable on the couch right now. So,
well, his could be a flu too, and it could be a false positive. Who knows?
I don't know how common the false positive is. So yeah,
I understand it's relatively common, especially with if it was just that quick one.
I don't know.
I don't know how often you're supposed to keep taking them either. Like I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, I would say he definitely had it though, because at his work there was like 7 people out.
Oh wow.
Like it tore through his whole business, so they're like shut down a little bit for a week.
Yep.
So there's at least that would
Okay,
have to
he
be a lot of
knows where he
false
got it from. Then
positives. Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's
Okay.
he got sent home early to Fridays, and we're like, fuck, because we got a show tomorrow, and we had it was a last minute show that they offered to us. We're excited to get out and be playing, and we're just like, well, I think we can make it happen. The drummer made sure he had somebody to watch his daughter. Like we were going through it all week, like rehearsing, and like I think we can make it happen, and then we can make it happen.
Huh.
Cool, we'll be there. Shockey comes home in the afternoon on Friday and it's like, well, I got COVID. And we're like, sure. And no, like
Huh.
seriously, everybody got sent home. I'm not feeling too great, but I think I'm fine. Like I'll take the test, it'll be negative, and then we'll go down, we'll play the show. And
Huh. Nope.
nope.
Damn.
So yeah, even my thing, I'm just paying attention to the symptoms. And if they don't get any worse and I'm feeling fine, then it's like, well, I already took the one test that was a negative, but I quarantined the whole 10 days with Shockey. And
Very good.
yeah, if they show back up or get a little worse, I'll take another test.
Yeah, there you go.
And then maybe that's a couple extra days on my quarantine or whatever. But
I think
yeah,
either way, you and Shockey got to do it together.
Yep. That's kind
That
of the
makes
thing when
sense.
you're in close proximity, roommates and in a jam room, farting and screaming into a microphone in a tight space,
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. It's one of those things. Supposed to have some work this week. That didn't happen, which, that's always one of those half and half, like, oh, I don't have to work this week. And then fuck, my wallet is like,
Sad.
you should work.
Well,
And yeah, so
everybody
that's that.
buy that poster on the wall behind you. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Buy that sexy thing. Look at that. Ooh.
Yeah, got some prints of that. That's the Beholder. It's a D&D creature.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, I guess, as far as the art thing goes, is I'll always do the pet portraits and stuff like that. But what's kind of fun about that is it's taking some of the color techniques I use with the pet portraits,
Uh-huh.
and then just when it's just this fantasy creature, it's a little more. It stretches the imagination muscles a little more rather than just trying to duplicate a good source photo. It's like you do
Yeah.
research on a beholder and you're like, that's a cool creature, but how can I put my own spin on it? Like I looked up an anglerfish and like looked into these like aquatic elements of it and making the tongue one of the appendages with an eye on it rather than it being separate. I noticed a lot of the other
Oh,
beholders had very similar, more like the arrowhead sharp teeth, and it's like a giant grin. And I definitely wanted to like flip the grin into that anglerfish thing.
oh yeah.
And yeah, people seem to be into it. So if I can have
Yeah.
more of a balance between this like psychedelic 70s style creature art and then pet portraits, then yeah, then that'll be a good balance. Stretches the imagination a bit.
Oh yeah. It's badass.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm finishing off the last of my October stores. This is the Brauhaus Oktoberfest style beer from Red Rock.
Nice.
Let's see. It's a fest beer. Very tasty.
Hmm.
And it has the whole history of Oktoberfest on the side and like celebrating a marriage. So there you go. This one's like lagered for 5 months, I think it says.
Hmm.
It's very smooth.
How common is that in a lagering time frame?
I think that's a pretty long lager. Usually it's only like a couple of weeks. So that's a pretty long one. Really smooths it out though. Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, sweet. Let's just get into the stuff and see how long I last.
Okay. What do you want to start with?
You could go over any food stuff you've done.
Oh man.
I've already talked about what I've done with food. It's just that pot roast thing.
Yeah.
Now we're
See,
on soup and gummy bears.
we didn't, I don't think me and Jerry Will talked about food, did we? And
Yeah, I
did you watch
forgot you
the
had to do
episode?
that. I don't like to deal with that fucking guy.
Yeah, that's a
He always gets upset that like I don't acknowledge him, but it's just like, dude, quit showing up at my house at 3 a.m. Just
yeah.
crying about Jesus. It's like wham, wham, wham. Like, it's
It's
fucking
sad.
ridiculous. It's just like, dude, I just want to enjoy my favorite holiday, and he's just like, no, I'm here to save your life again. Like, save my life.
Uh,
Fucking loser.
you would think nobody would, but Jerry will.
Yeah, you think he wouldn't, but he will.
Uh,
Anyway, I don't know. He's probably back in fucking Hawaii now.
yeah, back on
We
the
just
waves.
we just don't like to talk. So
Word. Oh yeah, I can't. I don't think we talked about food. So I did when I was out in,
was he just scared of the sushi you ate?
maybe that's what it was. We did talk about.
Any foreign cuisine?
Yeah, that's true. We did talk about the sushi. But see, we didn't talk about the japchae we made. And
What's
that was
that?
awesome. It's a Korean dish with sweet potato noodles. They're like the clear noodles. They're really,
Mm-hmm.
really tasty. And just has some other little vegetables, really thinly sliced up, and then we put some beef in there. And then
Yeah,
yeah, it's got kind of like a soy sesame sauce. It's delicious. Like we put it on a little bit of rice and oh, it's so
sounds
good.
pretty good.
Yeah, I recommend it. Those noodles are just like my new favorite noodles. I'm like, I'm just gonna use these for everything.
Yeah, there's a Korean barbecue joint we'll probably need to go to when you visit.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
kind of understand their menu a little more now after doing some research. So I won't say the name yet because maybe we'll go and end up hating it. So
Yeah,
I
I'll
think it
try.
looks pretty good.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Um, yeah, basically, I'm eating a Jerry Will diet this week. Like
Loaves
Campbell's
and
soup
fishes.
and a couple things I won't be eating. Like he thinks Cheez-Its are a cuisine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hear
So
he actually eats Vienna sausages.
really, yeah. I actually have done that.
And,
When I was in college, I used to get those and put them in ramen.
I've had several people be like, they just got to do this to them. And they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, well, they are sinful, which is another thing Jerry Will doesn't like, but
It's
he
not,
keeps finding a way to do it.
well, somehow canned meat is a sin that many people of his ilk are down with.
Jerry Will didn't tell you that was his band he started.
Canned meat.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like something to do with like beefcakes, like being all tough. And he's like, canned meat's like right out of the can, how easy I pop it.
This is our first album, Luncheon Loaf.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it was weird because it was like he was the only one in the band, but he kept saying we, like he already had the
yeah.
band, but it was always just him.
Oh, he's one of those dudes that puts up the flyers like looking for band members, need guitar, bass, drums, keys. It's like that's the whole goddamn band. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met anybody that acts exactly like that, but like the kind of guy that'll come up and grab your instrument and like try to show you the riff himself. And then when he gives the instrument back to you, he just starts like pressing the strings while you're playing.
oh yeah. Ooh.
And then he has you leave the stage after 4 songs to play a recorded MIDI bass track that they had
Yeah.
because it's like
Oh,
some kind of weird power move. And then steals like a cop car and shit.
that's
Or
quite the story.
yeah, it sounds like Jerry Will
Indeed.
being a fucking mouse. But then he goes and steals a guy's cop car runs around, gets in trouble for that, but then he becomes Mormon. And then he just becomes all anti-pornography. Like that's some kind of a stance. Yeah,
Yeah,
just a ridiculous asshole.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's the Rona
yeah.
fixing. Yeah, it's just Jerry Will.
Yep.
And if Jerry, if you're watching the show, it was a joke. I'm sorry.
Well, he's gonna be in the comment section now.
Yeah. Saying Jacob Wayne masturbates. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Uh, it concerns him greatly, but whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, music.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess I'll start off with the. Didn't I? I had to start off the last one with bummer news.
Yeah.
Somebody dying. Yeah. Well, another one. Pat Martino passed away. Amazing jazz guitar player. I don't know if I ever told you a story. Actually, I don't remember what happened to him exactly, but he had some kind of accident in the like middle of his life, and he totally forgot how to play the guitar. Like he forgot everything, and like was like already a touring musician, forgot all of it. Like got
Mm-hmm.
back to health and retaught himself the guitar, and like kept on touring. And he's something else. He's one known as one of like the really super fast uh guys. There's a video called I think it's Umbria Jazz Festival. If you just type Pat Martino Sunny, like out in the sun, sunny, and watch that live video. It's Pat Martino, John Schofield, and Joey DiFrancesco, and he plays this lick on the guitar, just like this little lick. He plays it for like 2.5 choruses of the song. Just like sits there and just plays the lick while the band like plays through the chords 2 times all the way through. It's just like insane. It's a great video. But yeah, rest in peace, Pat Martino, one of the greats.
Yeah. Rest in peace. I really I don't have any other music stuff.
Word. Well, there's our little music shout out
Sure. I
then.
already did the Limp Bizkit thing. Everything else is just listening to new albums from people that aren't really people I'm into.
Oh yeah.
So just trying to give it a shot. And I'm like, yeah, no, there's a reason I don't listen to this stuff. And I'll just like keep it vague because I don't want to shit on people's music they probably love because they're definitely all respectable musicians.
Yeah.
And that could be a fun game. You can go watch or go look at what was released on Friday and you can guess about which one I listened to and that I thought was like, yeah, it's just the same old shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm I'm down. I'm probably will be agreeing with you, but
Well, I'd even clarify. It's not that I thought it sucked. It's just incredibly like non-inspiring. Like I'm like
yep.
thinking about other stuff. It's not sucking me in. Because
Yeah,
I'll give you
there's a lot of
that.
stuff.
Limp Bizkit, the name of the album is called Still Sucks. Like that's the perfect
Uh-huh.
title. Because it's just like, yeah, there's parties. It's just like, what the fuck are they doing? Draws you in.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people are like probably better musicians and they're just boring. Like I don't want to listen to that. It's just like, yeah, same old shit. This is album number 17 of the same shit.
Yep. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. But I guess another music thing is Halloween did happen on Sunday,
Yeah.
and that's always a fun day. Do you have any Halloween albums you like to go to?
Not albums, no. I've never even really thought about that. I try to work in a few quotes. I'll try to like quote some of the Halloween songs like a couple of weeks before, and I play yeah, that kind of shit. And like
Yeah,
the Adams Family thing, and I play
yeah.
Spooky, that old rock tune.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a fun song. So that's what I usually do.
I do Big Dumb Faces second album, Duke Lion's Dead. I do Rob Zombie's first 2 solo albums, do Bauhaus, just like a random album from them. Probably the one that has like Bela Lugosi's Dead on it. I have
Nice.
Juju by Susie and the Banshees.
There you go.
The Cure's kind of good. That kind of depends on what sort of Halloween you're having.
Yeah.
Typo Negative. They're good.
Word up.
Yeah. It always sets like that nice Halloween October mood.
That's true. I never
Yeah.
even thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like kind of a big music holiday to me. Obviously, Christmas is another one, but you remember my Christmas playlist.
Yeah.
I try to find obscure stuff. That's a fun playlist to. It's like the trash candy playlist. It's a little trashy, but also a little just fun and unconventional.
Fa la 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 la.
La 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 la. Very, very good and the la la
I'm
la
gonna
la.
have to throw that
That's
song
doing a
on.
Halloween and the la 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 la.
Oh, that's like my favorite song of all time, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm going to talk shit on a company real quick. You ready?
Let's do it.
DistroKid, the band, the thing I go to that puts our music up on all the streaming services. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I could have sworn they're like, oh yeah, upload a cover and you just won't get any like money from the streaming of it. That's at least what I've been walking around thinking it was. So there's a chance I misread because it's one of those long agreementy things that maybe I skipped over something. But
Yeah.
I just kind of randomly got a charge for like album extras, and I was like, what the hell? And then I went and looked, it was Nadia Perro's record, and we did like 3 covers on that, but they're one of them's doesn't even have vocals. One's just a tease. Another one's just a tiny little snippety kind of cover. It's the Ballad de la Pistolero from like um Desperado. But
Uh-huh.
anyway, it charged me like $36. I think maybe it's annually, but it like charged me that to have those on there, which makes some sense. But I'm like, well, fuck, if you're gonna charge me for having a cover, like at least have it be one that I really gave a fuck about, like and actually put work into it. So now I'm gonna go through and like snip all those out because it's just like, yeah, that's not worth it. And there's like obviously Koshka's Those Were the Days and
It didn't charge for those.
Motorhead. It did at one
Oh,
point apparently, but I just didn't notice because it's one of those
shit.
automatic charges things, you're just
Yeah.
not paying attention to your bank account. So yeah, I got to go through there and just yeah, fuck that. No.
Yeah. Our ace of spades can't count, can it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's such a weird cover that's obviously tongue in cheek, and we weren't hardcore covering it.
And it's so
That
like
it's
I
just
don't know.
like, we'll just might as well just call it Base of Maids,
Yeah, exactly.
and then yeah, you know what it is, but anyway, why was I bringing that up? This music thing. I don't know. Oh, it's because of the fa la 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 la. I was gonna
Oh
say
yeah.
that I wanted to do a YouTube tribute to that piece with like Fakoshka, like
Uh-huh.
get all nice Christmassy, like we have like hot chocolate and sweaters on. It's like did it really good, la 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 la,
Yeah.
did it really good, and the la 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 la. But I want to do it
La
with
la
like
la la.
multi-camera. Like I want to like one camera moves around, so it's just got that dreamy Lifetime movie kind of look to it,
Hell yeah.
like little twinkly stuff.
Hell yeah.
But
Get one of
now,
those
now
little
I'm all questioning doing covers because some bands they apparently need it, and I'm
is
always
that
like, I don't need to do a cover. Let's just write our own thing.
that song's been it's probably old enough that you could hit up the guy that made it and get his permission to do it for free.
As far as I know, it's Sleeves was his name, or Mr. Sleeves, but I think it's just Sleeves. And he
Yeah.
was a guy that would show up on a radio show And I heard it on Opie and Anthony's radio show, but I think he did the song for a different radio show. And so when I
Nice.
first heard it was on O&A, and they fucking hated it. Like la 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 la, and la 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 la.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's where I found out about that Roper's theme song.
Oh, yeah.
I love that thing. So I don't know. I have different tastes than those boys, but
Indeed, that's a genius song.
I think secretly deep down, Jim Norton loves those songs. That's why he brings them in or
Oh, yeah.
reacts to them the way he does.
Indeed.
Anyway, that's good for music. Want to do movies?
Nice. Sure. Want me to go?
Sure.
So the one I watched it on Halloween. It's called The Clove Hitch Killer. Have you seen that one?
Nope.
Let's
What's
see.
that?
It's by Duncan Skiles, written by directed by written by Christopher Ford, and it's got Dylan McDermott, Charlie Plumer, and Samantha Mathis. So
I
yeah.
have not heard of any of them.
Any of them? Word.
No.
Okay. My girlfriend had heard of McDermott, so he looks familiar. I've seen
Oh
him.
yeah, wait, what was the first actor's name?
Dylan
McDermott.
Yeah.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he's
I couldn't tell you what though.
I'll look him up in a sec, but
maybe we'll put a picture of Dylan McDermott right here.
And then everybody will be like, oh yeah, that guy.
Oh.
So
Passion of the Christ.
So it's about a kid who's like a Boy Scout, which there are some weird, he's all involved in his church and Boy Scouts and stuff, and it has some definite callbacks. But his dad is like the scout leader and all this things, but there are all these unsolved murders in which 10 women were brutally tortured and killed by a psychopath known as Clove Hitch. And that was like a decade ago. And then he's like, he steals his dad's truck one night to go make out with his girlfriend, and he finds like a picture. And so he's like, oh, is my dad Clove Hitch? And then, watch the movie to find out.
Sure. What'd you think of it?
It's good. It's a good slow burn suspense. It never quite like gets anywhere as much as you think it's going to, but it's still good. I enjoyed it.
What out of 10?
Let's see. 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look and see what I've seen him in before, but he was in The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Heard
and a
of
bunch
that.
of TV. Yeah, lots of like The Grid and FBI and cop shows, that kind of thing.
So what's his name one more time?
Dylan McDermott.
And he's gonna go right here.
There you go.
Dylan McDermott. So this is gonna be the Jacob Wayne Rona special starring Dylan McDermott.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah, pretty cool movie.
Word. I haven't heard nothing about it or anybody in it, so I can't add anything until I've seen it. But I bet you once Dylan McDermott was right there, I'll recognize him and I'll be like, oh yeah, and the one thing, and we'll talk about it next time.
Yep.
Watched the third Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yeah.
And that was inventive and fun and silly and stupid. But I would agree with stuff that some people say about it, where it actually made the world that Freddy occupies more interesting, because it actually has these Elm Street children that have dream powers. So it's like, oh, it's almost like this whole lucid dreaming dream world area where they can actually fight him, and it's not just this ridiculous surreal torture that he does, which is cool, but it's nice to have another element to it where, you know, you like kind of ponder, yeah, what would my dream power be? And it's got some ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
I can't quote it well enough to even pull them off, but so you should just watch it. But watch the second one, because that one was way more the subtext of it, which I think Jerry will probably tried really hard to not talk about because he's all nervous about it. But the homosexual subtext of the second Nightmare on Elm Street is hilarious because it's so like terribly 80s and backwards. It's like, oh, you're gay, you're turning into Freddy Krueger, but I'm a girl and I love you. He's like, get away from me, bitch. And that is the funniest thing. I'm not the biggest into Rick and Morty, but you probably watched some of it, right?
Oh yeah.
You've
I've
seen the
that
episode with Freddy is a bitch.
Yeah,
It's hilarious now to watch these at Nightmare on Elm Streets. There is one scene I'll quote from the third one. It's this girl just watching the TV in the sleep crazy asylum, whatever it is, where they're keeping all the kids. And then she goes up to like mess with the TV or something, and then these mechanical arms come out at the side of the TV and grab her and like lift her up. And then out of the top of the TV, the little antennas are on top of like Freddy Krueger's head, and it pops out of the TV. And then so he's like holding her, and he's like out of the TV box, and he's like, "Welcome to primetime, bitch," and just smashes her head into the television. And then like they come in like, oh my god, why did she kill herself by shoving her own head into the TV that's attached to the wall up there? These kids are crazy.
Oh my god. Yep,
So that's kind of
these.
been like, that's been a thing around the house now for a couple of days. Just like, you should probably make me some coffee, bitch. Yeah. So those movies get weird and funny, and I'll keep watching that series even though October's out the door.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the theme of November will be. I kind of thought, like, since Halloween's like spooky Halloween, scary monster stuff, then November you transition into like, oh no, like war atrocities and serial killers and all the stuff that's actually scary. Watch those types of movies in November. So like Warfare, Silence of the Lambs, Flowers in the Attic, Crazy Grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, the really scary stuff. I'm not ready to give up scariness. So November is going to be that, and then December you can be like, all right, but Christmas. I don't mind Christmas vibes. As with most people, I think it's just, let's wait till December, shall we?
Dude, nobody waiting. People hitting it earlier every year. Now it used to be Thanksgiving. Now it seems like it's Halloween.
Well, let me ask you this, sir. This is kind of touching our toe in the philosophy section. How would you feel about people doing Christmas lights all year long? All year wrong? What?
I think you just answered your own thoughts about it.
Oh, you're wrong. So wrong. No.
I can't even say the sentence without getting...
Christmas lights all year long.
Gotcha. Oh, there actually are some houses that do that around here.
I'm asking your opinion, though. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think it'd be fine, especially now that they're all LED, you know, like you could program them, like you could have like some summer colors, some autumn colors. I see no problem in decorating year round, really. I
say get rid of more street lights and up the Christmas lights, or just LED cool decorative stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe if you could find out how it relates to like light pollution and so on and so forth. You know, you've seen that story. This is also dipping our toe into like weird news or science or whatever. is like they've been putting those like jellyfish DNA into trees. So then they're like bioluminescent.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, stuff like that. I want way more mood lighting in the cities I'm in and not
Yeah.
so much like bright nastiness. So I've always been cool with Christmas lights, but it makes me wonder
Hmm.
if you have that all year, then you're like, fuck that.
Is it part of the season? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe if we could just have one or two more throughout the year, like kind of comes out for maybe July 4th.
There you go. Yeah.
But then you don't want to see red, white, and blue fucking everywhere. Not that I'm not patriotic and don't enjoy the country I live in, but this is something screams douchebag about the whole city covered in either white, red, or blue. Like that would suck.
Uh-huh.
You need moodier colors like purple, pinks, blues, but like all mixed up.
Indeed. That does sound better.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy debate, I don't know what
Yeah.
side of it I land on. Watched The Shining on Halloween, but that was the number one movie on my top 10 Halloween movies list. It's been talked
Yeah.
about extensively. I mean,
That's good. It's
Shining's
classic.
always going to keep coming up in this
Yep.
show, probably. So,
Big
video
time.
games. I've been playing New World. It's Amazon Games' first game, maybe. If it's not their first, it's their first MMO.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was an Amazon.
Yeah, it is. But pretty fun. I'm not the biggest MMO guy. The crew I'm playing with, they're more into it and more experienced. And so just kind of been enjoying that. It was a lovely gift from one of them because they enjoyed gaming with me. So I appreciate that. So I got to enjoy the game. It's Skyrim-y, but it's like, you remember Assassin's Creed that was like pirates and kind of in the Caribbean?
Yeah.
It's like if you took that in Skyrim, um, a little bit. I don't know how much resource gathering they did in other MMOs after the initial World of Warcraft,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got like the item collecting similar to Valheim, but it's more like you getting that stuff to go craft like you do in Skyrim a bit and go up to the smelter, the woodworking, and the tree can't land on your head and kill you. It's
Nice.
going to be like go to the camp, fight 5 of these guys, search the chests, bring it back, and upgrade. Then but the whole key to it, because that kind of grind thing gets old to me. The thing that we're aiming towards is player versus player, and you're all on this one big island, and there's 3 factions, like the religious yellow ones that are like the Mormons. Then you got the green ones that are like musclehead meth heads, they're the Marauders.
Ooh.
Then the purple one are like the geeky scientists, and that's the one we're on.
Nice.
And then we just you fight for territory. When you get to level 60, you can start fighting each other. You can invade places. Once again, don't know how common that is in MMOs, but that's their setup according to my friends. They're like, that's what they're all aiming towards, and that's what they're into. So kind of in the ride to get there, and then kind of see how that is.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I still can't be a Jedi with a double-edged pink lightsaber, which bugs me.
Someday.
That's got real. I mean, that Jedi Fallen Order, I got my double-edged pink lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't have the cool robe moment, but like whatever. He's a Jedi.
Getting close. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the question I have going into every game we play.
Where is that?
Well, what kind of weapon do you want? Double-edged pink lightsaber. Like, well, what kind of class? Jedi. And then it's like, well, and then you kind of just go out from there. It's like, well, we got monks and a staff, like a bow staff. I'm like, can it glow pink? No. All right. I'll be a monk with a bow staff.
There
And
you
you got to
go.
be bald, man. Delicious, delicious baldness.
Mm-hmm. And then make good beer.
Yeah. So, what's
Monkey.
video games unless you got something to share?
No, I'm still playing Stardew. when I get any time to play anything.
Yeah, it would be hopeless for you to join this game unless you wanted to play it on your own.
Yeah, that's what I kind of
Everybody be like,
figured.
yeah, got about 3 weeks worth to catch
Gotta
up on.
catch it. Yeah.
And they're gonna keep playing. So
Yep. It happens.
mhm.
But yeah.
I'm just gonna wait here in silence. I'm gonna let you decide what's next.
Oh boy. Let's see. Should
Going
we get
down
into
fast
some
there.
weird movies? I mean, not weird movies. Weird news, or should we do?
Did you
Yeah.
have a weird news?
Well, it's your weird news, the weird history
Uh,
news. You
well,
want to
you
go
had
into that?
history news. Pull the
Yeah.
veil back a little bit, and I had science news.
There you go.
Is there no
Which one do you want to do?
philosophy?
There is a philosophy.
Let's do that first. Then we'll get into the news articles.
All right.
Hot and
This one's
cold right now.
this one's cold. Here we go. What is wrong with having sex with animals?
Hmm. Wow. Go ahead, Kellen.
What?
Go ahead.
I read them. I don't have to answer them, do I?
Hmm. What is wrong with having sex with animals?
I think. I guess.
Uh, I'm not going to go with an abomination against God. That's the old way to think about it. Um, it's kind of old thought, like don't fuck with a species you can't reproduce with. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I guess you could no, it's like sex is for pleasure, right? You're not for procreation, and you're just like, hey, I'm not always fucking to create life, so that's an old way of thinking. That's ridiculous, right?
So you're coming around to the idea.
I think I can't remember which comedian said it, but it kind of boiled down to whether the animal can fight back or not. Like if you fuck the chicken, obviously that's not cool because you're basically raping that chicken. There's nothing that chicken can do about it. And that's fucked up. So that's fucked up to forcefully take like that
Yeah.
at all. But if you can get away with like, I think it's multiple comedians actually. Cause yeah, if you can get away with fucking a chimpanzee or like fucking a bull, like you kind of maybe deserve to fuck that animal because how the hell did you get in and get out?
Wow.
And am I going to talk to you and associate with you anymore? No. But is it morally wrong to go up to like a bull and fuck it in the ass?
Well, I guess it's really a consent problem.
I'm going to steal this joke from another podcast, but it's an old joke. So it's not, they stole it from somebody else. So it's
Yeah.
fine. Let me see if I can do this one correctly. So they're at the zoo. Everybody's
They're
at the zoo.
all of them.
Yeah, every last one. And there's a lion. He's just down by the water. He's taking a drink of water. Just haunches all like that, just like drinking up that water. And then a gorilla comes up behind him and fucks him in the ass. And then he takes off and runs down the trail. The lion's like, "What the man? What the fuck?" And he chases after the gorilla. The gorilla had a pretty good head start though, and he ends up getting into like the kind of the gift shop area, and he sees a guard sitting there reading a paper. So then, like the lion, not the lion, sorry, the gorilla knocks out the guy, steals his uniform, grabs the newspaper, kicks his legs up, and starts reading the New York Times. Lion comes running in looking for him, looks over, He's like, security, have you seen a fucking gorilla run through here? And then he kind of puts down his paper and he's just like, you talking about that gorilla that fucked a lion in the ass? And the lion's like, it's already in the paper. I fucked that up, but
yeah, that's a good joke.
yeah. I think Bert Kreischer said it on. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Bernd Chrysler said it on a podcast, and then I heard Greg Fitzsimmons on one of his podcasts tell that, or maybe it was his buddy Mike. I don't know. Trying to give credit, but it's an old fucking joke.
Nice.
Just go through podcasts, and you're like, oh, this fucking joke again, but I like it. So is it okay to fuck an animal?
Well, not is it okay? What is wrong?
What is wrong? I
guess they're
think
not.
it's
They're saying it
necessarily
is
wrong.
not okay. They're saying that is wrong. Well,
Yeah, it's wrong if you fuck a chicken, but fuck a giraffe. Like, all right, just that's fucking weird. It's like
ladder.
people that listen to ska music.
Hey,
I'm just like, all right, like I don't get it, but enjoy. Enjoy those mozzarella sticks.
yeah, I do like mozzarella sticks.
Yeah,
Musical,
I'm sure there's some pervy stuff I'm into that people are like, ugh. You ever gotten a Jacob Wayne?
No.
A lot of people wouldn't be into that. I say it's completely sanitary because it's in the shower.
It's fine.
Yeah. But
It's kind of a weird one, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's wrong. It's different.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay.
Yeah. We're all trying to be more open-minded these days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I guess. Where
do we go now?
Do you want to do yours? History or science?
I'll do mine real quick. I'm fading fast. All right. I picked this article. I picked most of my articles from AP News, Associated Press. It's the most fair and balanced news source you could probably find. I challenge you to find a more fair and balanced news source. This one, its title is Asian Spider Takes Hold in Georgia, Sends Humans Scurrying. And what I enjoyed about this is people's different responses to this spider. So I'll start off. A large spider native to East Asia has spun its thick golden web on power lines, porches, and vegetable patches all over North Georgia this year. Proliferation that has driven some unnerved homeowners indoors and prompted a flood of anxious social media posts. In Metro Atlanta, Jennifer Turpin, a self-described arachnophobe, stopped blowing leaves in her yard after inadvertently walking into a web created by the Joro spider. Stephen Carter has avoided walking a trail along the Chattahoochee River, where he encountered Joro webs every dozen steps. So obviously this kind of goes, this one guy, Hudson, estimates he's killed more than 300 of the spiders on his property. He says, the webs are a real mess, said Hudson, an entomologist at the University of Georgia. Nobody wants to come out of the door in the morning, walk down the steps, and get a face full of spider web. That's true.
Oh, God.
Let's see if we can find another quote here. But this is information. The Joro, Trichonophila clavata, is part of a group of spiders known as orb weavers for their highly organized, well-shaped webs. Common in Japan, China, Korea, and Taiwan, Joro females have colorful yellow, blue, and red markings on their bodies. They can measure 3 inches or 8 centimeters across when their legs are fully extended. It's not clear exactly how and when the first Joro spider arrived in the US, but a researcher identified one about 80 miles northeast of Atlanta in 2014. They've also been found in South Carolina, and Hudson is convinced they will spread across the South. It's also not clear why they are so abundant this year, though experts agree their numbers have exploded. That's probably all climate, all that stuff like that.
Yep.
They're not very aggressive. They won't bite unless threatened. So it's not like arachnophobia. But here we go. Debbie Gilbert, 67, isn't waiting to find out. She has adopted a zero tolerance policy for the spiders around her home in Norcross, Georgia, winding their webs with a stick, bringing them down, and stomping them. I don't advocate killing anything. I live in peace with all the spiders around here and everything else. But Joros just don't belong here. That's all. So she's like got this weird spider racism.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I don't kill a single thing except these fucking Joros. Oh yeah, and then her next line is, I just don't think I'm going to do yard work anymore. She's like, yeah, 67. Yeah, I think you just don't want to do yard work anymore. You just blaming it on the Joro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think that was what I liked the most about it. I just pictured Debbie Gilbert just like, these goddamn Joros in my yard.
I've had it. I'm done.
He's been watching me through the window. I don't like that kind of talk. Yeah, just I picture the soprano mother.
Nice.
What are those Joros doing in my yard? Yeah, anyway. So, but I do like that. We've talked about the cocaine hippos on here before, right?
I think so.
Yeah, just Pablo Escobar had a zoo on one of his little pleasure compounds.
Uh-huh.
And then when he got in trouble and lost some of that property, they just let the hippos he had accumulated out. And now they're down in, I guess it would be Colombia. They're like Colombian cocaine hippos. They've just thrived in the area. And now they're kind of not great for the ecology there.
No,
so
hippos will fuck you up.
There's another issue like this with like a certain kind of boa, I think, in Florida. That's like not native to there, but it just wrecks the whole area. There's just nothing can keep it in check.
Yeah, there's some big ones down there. It's probably the one our buddy had one. I can't think of the name. Reticulated.
Oh.
A reticulated python. You know, those things are get like 20 feet long. That big around.
There's also, man, just everything that lives in Australia.
Yep.
Including the muscle meth head marauders.
The most dangerous game.
I love that kind of stuff though. It's fascinating because it's like, I always have the daydream where you like humanity, I don't know, catches a crazy virus and it kills all of them.
Yeah.
Whatever. Humanity is no longer the top of the food chain. The cities become grown over with jungle and all this stuff, and humanity fades away. It's like with all the animals that they left in different areas and all that stuff, like how would they evolve? I think that's a scene in like I Am Legend where some of the zoo creatures get out in the city, and so there's like tigers and just roaming New York or something.
Yeah.
I always love that idea. So yeah. I say God bless the Joro. As long as the Joro isn't fucking with me, I ain't gonna fuck with the Joro. So get your shit together, Debbie.
Yeah. For real.
All right, what you got?
All right. Disney hired some little people to dress as Pinocchio and wave at people at the premiere of Pinocchio. They left them on the balcony with enough food and wine for the day, but by late afternoon, they were all naked.
Wait. Let's clarify. What year is this? Does it say?
1940.
Okay. I think it's important to clarify. Not a recent Pinocchio.
No.
The old Disney Pinocchio.
This is old school. Yeah. The OG. So they were drunk and naked and screaming swear words at people. So, Pinocchio premiered in New York City, February 7th, 1940. Ooh, at the Center Theater. So after Snow White, the expectations were high. Then they wanted a sensational reception and opening for the film, perhaps inspired by the lovable Seven Dwarfs that were not so lovable in their rather frightening costumes at the Carthay Circle premiere. The publicity department hired 11 midgets. This is again 1940.
Little people. We'll update it.
Clothed them in Pinocchio costumes and placed them atop the theater marquee on opening day, there to cavort about and lend a bit of atmosphere in preparation for the experience awaiting the audience inside.
Yeah.
At lunchtime, food and a couple of quarts of spiritus liquid refreshment were hoisted up to the tiny troopers. What do we change that one
to? Tiny gentlemen and gentle ladies.
Inspired by the brew, the little people begin to remove their garments.
Yes.
By
just like us.
By 3, yeah, it happens to all of us.
It's like us biggies.
By 3:00 that afternoon, patrons were startled to see and hear 11 naked little people loudly belching and busily engaged in a lively crap game atop the marquee. The en natural legion of Pinocchios steadfastly refused the commands to cover up and climb down. Police were called in and they climbed ladders to reach the merry crew, restore their modesty by clothing them in pillowcases, and hollowed them down to street level before a wandering crowd. For many years, I looked for any piece of research that would help support the story. Just recently, I found it. I present the picture.
Oh, we'll put it here.
As with all pictures here at the Institute, just click on the image. No, whatever. Yeah, there you go. It'll be there. You can see the picture.
Wow.
There's some Pinocchios. Looks like one of them's flipping people off. Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, we've been waiting a while to hit that story, and I wanted to get that. We need to do more science and more weird history stuff.
I have both. I have an episode for both. We can do sometime soon.
Hell yeah. Because as I start to do more movie reviews, album reviews, we'll still talk about it, of course, but it's like fill the Jacob Wayne show up with a little more history, sciencey stuff that isn't gonna cross over into other things so much.
That'd be fun.
But it's weird. My body's completely exhausted. My mind isn't really, but I'm just like,
yeah.
So I think that was a good episode. How do you feel about it?
Oh yeah, that's plenty.
It's unique.
That was a good time.
Some fun little pathways.
Yep. Rona-sode.
Yeah. So remember, don't fuck animals. Don't steal somebody's car. Don't watch pornography.
Wait.
Accept all spiders. Don't give treats and snacks to people that are doing a job for you until the job is done.
True that. Nobody ever gives out wine jobs till it's done.
Yeah, it was a really bad move.
Yeah.
You want to start the day off with some wine? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch movies, play video games.
Yep.
Enjoy your health if you haven't. Indeed. I'm very thankful that I'm managing all right. But I'm going to go see if my roommate needs some soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take care of the chocolate.
Will do. This is the Jacob Wayne. Oh, that was the other thing. This is episode 50. Even though we split 49 into 2 parts and then Jerry Will took over, I'm just going to let that be his own episode. So we're going to call this number 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back on track.
Because that was a whole new show, the Jerry Will show.
And he ain't coming back unless I take another vacation on Halloween.
Word.
But I'm not planning on it, I don't know. Never see that piece of shit again.
Just let me know, and maybe I'll have, somebody step in.
Have
on my
Corey step
behalf.
in.
Yeah.
Just have Corey come do one.
I feel like him and Jerry would have a fun conversation.
Good vibe. Yes. Anyway, Joro bless. Talk to you next week.
Time.
Ta-ta! Thank you for listening to The Jacob Wayne Show. If you would like to contact us, please write us at fakoshka@gmail.com. That is FAKOSHKA@gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Simply search The Jacob Wayne Show and it should pop right up. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a review and share this podcast with your friends. Please write us. It helps add content to the show and makes the show even better for you, the listener. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Jacob Wayne Show.